Can't remember. Were you here?
Is that it?
Were you
No,
at this?
I was not. I wasn't watching WCW in 2000. I'd already tapped out.
Okay.
Derek
was
Zoo
a
has a question.
lapsed fan. Yes.
Was there ever any plans to bring Oliver Platt in to be Jimmy King at a show? Tony, do you remember that ever being discussed?
It was never discussed. No.
You think Oliver Platt just wouldn't have done it?
Probably would have done it had we offered him a lot of money.
I see.
I would think Oliver was, and that was one of the cool things about being in that movie was being able to meet Oliver Platt, being able to, I sat beside Kathleen Freeman in the makeup chair, who, if you're a Jerry Lewis fan, she was in a lot of those Jerry Lewis movies. You know, she played in it, had a part in there. That was the cool thing about being in the movie. But I'm not so sure that any of those guys, with the exception of David Arquette, really wanted to be involved in pro wrestling on a wrestling level. So there.
It is interesting, though, how the perception of pro wrestling has changed so much.
I agree.
I mean, now, when you look at, the Von Erich movie that came out, Iron Claw, of course, and The Wrestler, and how critically acclaimed that was. I think people just understand what this industry is more so than ever.
Yeah.
And you do think you'd find people who'd be a lot more enthusiastic or follow the product. I mean, Paul Walter Hauser, let's give him a lot of credit for what he's done, working independence and, being a little bit a part of our product. So, it's an interesting thing when you think about how this whole business has changed from the time of 20 years into the WCW era.
Yeah, that's good. That's very well said.
What a nice guy he is, too. And I was shocked to see him in some Hollywood news the other day. I guess he was offered the lead role in a Tarantino movie and passed. It's not something you hear about all the time.
Yikes.
Who's going to interfere with his wrestling schedule? I mean, you understand.
That's right.
May have gotten right in the way of WrestleMania. Who knows?
Yeah,
priorities.
He's got to work Southern Honor up in Canton, Georgia.
Who, by the way, shout out to Dylan. I think there was a big photo shoot recently that used the Southern Honor Championship titles. That was pretty cool. Good.
That's great. Speaking of photo shoots, Dave, you want to throw this picture up here? We did a little photo shoot right before we started the other night.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah, this was a shot right before we started Dynasty, right before we started 0 Hour. We first came out, so I'm happy. I like that. That's pretty cool.
Why'd you Photoshop out JR?
Because we were told to by Barry Bloom.
Oh, okay, that's right. Because there are no royalties.
JR would charge us for his likeness, and we couldn't afford it.
That's good stuff.
I love you for that. Charge us for his likeness.
Barry was in attendance, by the way.
Yes,
backstage.
yes, he was. Yes, he was.
So, and it was weird, but it's easy to follow him backstage because you just follow the bills, falling out of his wallet.
Right.
You can easy to keep track of when it comes to Barry.
Which, as you probably know, Alex, and I like to thank Conrad for this, but there's part of me in this as well. I love to give people shit. And Alex and I were talking about something very important. And I saw to my right, Barry Bloom talking to Don Callis. So I immediately said, Alex, please, excuse me a second. And I said, Barry, you actually represent this fucker? My God, has your stock gone down as an agent?
Tremendous.
Yeah, hey guys, I'm just being behind the scenes and honest. I love Don Callis. God,
he's brilliant, man. Say what you will about him as a human being. I do know if I ever have to share an Uber with him, that usually we're getting the worst driver because his rating is so low because of the tipping thing.
Yeah,
but because he feels that if you are hired by a company, like for example, if you're hired by a restaurant, well, you're already making money from the restaurant. Why do I need to help subsidize your income? I mean, this is Don Callis to a T.
Right. Yeah.
And someday I hope to expose the real Don Callis to the world. Because if you think what you see on TV is bad, no. It's worse. It's 100 times worse.
It's too
much. Real life Don Callis. I think the wrestling Don Callis you see, if we just put it in terms of his life, is a baby face. Okay. and he's heinous. Yes. What else can you say?
I love people that make me laugh. I mean, I do. Taz makes me laugh. Kevin Matthews makes me laugh. Don Callis. I just entertain me, dude. That's all I want from you. Entertain me. God, we are so much backstage. So we have a world title match, right? And we got to go backstage for it. And we almost missed DDP's diamond cut or whatever it is. So I have to explain it that, he came to the crowd and gave him a diamond cutter.
And they're leaving poor Tank out here in the ring for quite a while.
Yeah, breathing heavy. Yeah.
And for those a little behind the scenes here, one of the things that wrestlers cannot stand is when they're brought out on a ring introduction before a commercial break.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to kill 3-4 minutes of time.
Yeah.
And what is it that you're able to do after a while when it comes to killing time? That is a challenge. So I think WWE uses video boards, if I'm not mistaken, and try to distract the crowd during that time. So just one of those things.
But it's not a bad TV move. You think about it. You bring out a big star, and hey, we're going to stay through the break. I got a couple dogs here getting ready to knock over a light stand. So excuse me a second.
Oh, that's exciting, man! Look at
hey, stop.
Go! Knock it over!
Crying out loud.
Go
more. Hey, so talk to us, Tony. How's the rest of the dog family taking the loss of Bug?
They're pretty sad. Chewy's really sad. Our terrier, who has been with Bug his entire life, right? He's really sad. Little Kirby is kind of sad too, but little Scout here just doesn't give a damn about anything. So she just she's walking away right now. She's the lowest of dogs.
The lowest of dogs.
Yeah, just as crazy as she can be.
How is Lois? We hadn't talked about her in a while.
She's doing okay. She really took Bug's loss hard.
Really?
Oh yeah, because she was his caretaker. She gave him his medicine day and night for years and years and years. And we did a lot.
Did you have Bug? How many years total?
13.
Wow.
She was the one because Bug had liver ailments almost his entire life. And we went to UGA veterinarian school, medical center, and he spent a week there one time. And so with all the medicine, she kept him alive. So she took it very hard. So we're showing the Dallas Page diamond cutter many times, and even using it as 1-800-COLLECT because we missed it. And there you go. My best to Craig Leathers.
That's your boy.
Yeah, that's my boy.
Do you know, as part of pro wrestling training, is it learning how to drive an ambulance?
If you ask Shaquille, it's learning how to disappear in an ambulance.
He never has come back.
Never has come back.
No. I do think it was pretty good though that what is it that QT never told him about when he told him that going through a table is nice and easy.
Yeah.
One separated shoulder later, everything was great.
What's funny about that is that's one of the moments that I will never forget in AEW. When they asked me some of the, not necessarily the best moments, okay, but one of the greatest moments is me trying to get Shaq out of that ambulance before we come to me live. Opening that door, said, "You got to go now. You got to go now." That'll be in my mind forever. I mean, we're talking about one of the major stars in the world, right?
Yeah.
He's on every freaking commercial, and nobody's like Shaq. And here I am trying to get him out of an ambulance on a live pro wrestling show. Just phenomenal.
Shaq's a man of the people too. That's the cool part about it.
Yeah.
Well, he was always so nice backstage in terms of take a photo with anybody, just enjoyed being there. But I've seen him at other events where he's just out there, walking around.
One of the guys. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Which is nice. He lives his best life, so to speak. Right.
Yeah. When you're a billionaire, you can.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I covered the Florida basketball team when they played LSU, and he was on the same squad as Stanley Roberts, if you might remember from the early 90s. And I thought Stanley Roberts was a better player, which will tell you how much talent I know. So just nice,